Hey guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and the first thing that I'd like to clear up is some confusion about Call of Duty Black Ops. Just so you guys know, I will never ever upload a Black Ops gameplay. And over the past couple of days, if you're on my PlayStation's friend list, obviously you've been seeing that under my status it says that I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops. And just so you guys know, I left my PlayStation 3 on my dorm room on Friday morning, and I've been skiing the past 2 days, so I haven't even played my PS3 in the past 2 days, so it's probably my roommate or one of the other friends that I have in my dormitory that I permit to play my PS3, so I'm never going to upload Black Ops. I've only played Black Ops once, and it was with zombies with a friend of mine on his PS3. So just to clear it up, never going to abandon Bad Company 2 for PS3, but I actually caught somebody trying to dolphin dive in Bad Company 2 recently, and it was pretty weird. I mean, he did this thing over a fence. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen. Just look at this. You see, isn't that atrocious? It's just that dolphin dive that leaves you flopping around like a marionette when you try to jump over a fence, and then you break it. You break your fall with your neck, and then you shatter both your scapulas. I don't think that's covered by your HMO, but I think it's already conspicuous that we're playing at Isla, and I think it's also obvious that we're absolutely stomping this team because we've already destroyed B, and we've already got A set, so I think that really sets the standard of what you're going to see in terms of gameplay. And the first island on Isla I've covered so many times. I basically like to land out of a helicopter near the back of the island. I sneak up, I stay in the back of the spawn, and I kill anybody that recently comes into the game or recently spawns, and I just keep them away from the objectives. Simple enough. And of course I'm using the UMP-45. And I know I've told you several times that my favorite submachine gun is the 9A91, but really, my favorite weapon is so relative. I mean, different days, I have favorites compared to others. You know, I was playing with the MG3 I believe it was last Thursday, and that was extremely enjoyable. I would say that was my favorite weapon. But it really fluctuates from time to time. I would probably say my favorite weapon of all time is probably the XM8 prototype, but definitely the UMP is probably my favorite submachine gun right now. And in terms of submachine guns, I feel as if the ones with higher damage are easier to use because, well, there's pros and cons. Okay, number one, I would always feel more comfortable using a PP2000 over a UMP-45 in close range, because of the higher rate of fire. But then at the same time, that always demands your accuracy to be better. You only have to hit the guy with a few shots of your UMP, you're going to put him down. But with a PP2000, you got to keep your reticle, you got to keep your red dot or your ACOG or your iron sights on him for quite a while. You have to be pretty accurate to take him down. You have to hit him with a lot of shots. So there's pros and cons to both, but then again, you should definitely pay attention to other things other than my weapons, such as a Wesley Snipes. Oh man, guess who I got? I got Creepy Crawler. How awesome is that? That's just, of all the Wesley Snipes that I could get, of all the gamer tags that just happen to pop up when I throw a grenade towards his face, it has to be Creepy Crawler, and that is probably, that sounds like a kind of a cliche name for some kind of ghoul or monster, and you guys know that I'm quite fond of monsters in terms of, you know, bush monsters and water monsters, and I think I've discussed this with Sonic Chaos, that really any type of player that will lurk under a certain surface is considered a monster of that type. For example, Shed Monster right here, and I don't know why he shot me amongst the abyss of other players that were much closer to him, but that just puzzles me. But as I said, you know, if he's in water and he's just sitting there, water monster, wall monster, shed monster, what have you. And I believe I only died 3 times in this particular game, but yet again, Cobra Automatic being a shed monster, just sitting there, being a total catfish in a level 50. But then again, I shouldn't call him a catfish. He's not exactly sporting an unbalanced weapon. He's just being a general catfish. And it's not like he's in the MLC or anything like Major League Catfish, but he's slightly annoying. But then again, our team stomped his entire team later on here, even worse than we did previously, so I really can't, I don't want to be too mean to him right now. And back to the submachine guns. In terms of long range, and as you can see here, in terms of long range, I'm almost completely indifferent as to which one I like more between the PP2000 or the UMP45. And that's mostly because you would be expecting that, oh, Russian Badger, why don't you just take the one with the higher damage? Oh, and there's a little something that you should definitely check out here. Check out how many bullets I have left in my clip. Just a little two-shot. I found that quite humorous, but I think of it this way. Between the PP2000 and the UMP45, like I said, I'm almost completely indifferent as to which one I would rather use longer range, because obviously the UMP45 has superior damage. But then again, there's something about the PP2000, especially with an ACOG, but as well with the red dot sight. It has this glide. It has this smooth glide in the way that the recoil reacts after each bullet, and I find it extremely easy to just pick off long-range targets. And it might sound like an exaggeration. There you go, creepy crawler. When you're crawling in a creepy manner, you're gonna get creepy crawled. That sounds like I'm some kind of rapper from Wisconsin that doesn't even know how to rap correctly, but really, between the UMP and the PP2000, superior damage with the UMP, I can always hit you at range, and with the PP2000, that recoil is so modest and it glides so well, especially with an ACOG scope, I can absolutely snipe you. And these guys were just coming through, and they never checked this corner for some reason. And I hit that guy with a Rex, and I fail here, but you know what? You can't go wrong with the Gustav. Kneecaps, bro. Oh, that's even worse, because that was point-blank Gustav. And I get a few more. I think I get one kill, and then somebody else helps me out there, but thank you, teammates. Oh, 650 points in one. I guess it's 660. I hate counting points, though. Counting points is like counting calories. It's so futile. Why even do it? That sounds like a catchphrase from some movie that I've never seen before. But yes, I'm getting hit by spawn campers with that. I absolutely despise spawn campers, but what are you gonna do? I mean, I think you guys know that I participate in my fair share of spawn camping, but that is ridiculous. Why are you on the first island sniping me from behind a white dumpster? How are you contributing to your team? I don't understand. Ich verstehe nicht. I don't understand. Like, it's just mind-blowing how you would pay that much money just to sit in a bush and be a bush monster and just, don't look at me, I'm a bush. Don't look at me, I'm a bush. And I'm just going to snipe you from that far away. It puzzles me, those tricksters that just like to sit in this dense vegetation in this ghillie suit and just, I'm going to snipe you. Okay, well, I bet he can't even see half my team now, so he's going to have to move up. And I think we all share the same pain in terms of getting killed by a gentleman that far away. But I guess maybe he might have gotten his marksman headshot 400,000. So, congratulations. But with this last set, I think I've identified this previously. You're going to want to run down the right-hand side. And you're going to want to use those wood logs directly ahead. And, you know, sometimes there's that trickster on the far left side of that cliff. And then there's also a few catfish on the right side. Like, how can I describe this? Just to the inside or to the right of the wood logs, directly ahead of A, there's like a little cliff. They're very exposed, but they can oftentimes hit you as you go down. But Beast 2711, somehow he just snuck around, and yet again another spawn camper. That's just, it's not even that annoying, because in terms of spawn campers, you can absolutely take advantage of the situation with spawn campers. And what I mean by that is, if they all stay in your spawn, and if it's more than 3 or 4 guys, you can absolutely blow right by them and run to the objective, and you're only facing, what, 8 or 9 guys? But then again, you're never actually facing 8 or 9 other opponents. Some of them are out to lunch, some of them don't even know how to play or defend effectively, so as few numbers, if you can cut down the amount of enemies that you have in front of you, you're always going to do much better. So if you can just blow right by spawn campers in your spawn and arm the objective before they even have time to retreat, it can be detrimental. And as you see, just maybe 10 or 20 seconds ago, I got that guy with a Rex, and I'm still I'm still changing my pistol up quite a bit, but I think I'm pretty solidified with the M1911. I've already platinumed the M9, and I'm not huge on the Glock because I feel as if, I mean, the bullets just don't do enough damage. I've got an extremely quick trigger finger, without being too boastful, like, oh yeah, well, I got creepy crawler yet again, but I don't want to boast about, I have a great trigger finger, blah blah blah, and here I'm going to get him with a Gustav. You gotta be careful with the Gustav because you need to make sure that you hit the right surface. I aimed to the left of the objective so I could hit the ground right beside him. And you guys know that I don't use the Gustav religiously. It's just something that I use because of its higher speed for helicopters. And also because, I mean, it's obviously best against infantry, but I never ever use it with the explosive weapon damage because that would make me an absolute catfish. That would put me as the president of the MLC, the Major League Catfish. That would, it's just so annoying. I basically look at it as the noob tube of Battlefield, if you will. And yet again, I'm pulling out the Rex because I'm out of ammo here. But I don't totally hate the Rex, but I really think the M1911 is better because I just feel like I always die in the hands, or when I'm using maybe the M9 or the MP443 Glock, because it's just too much to fire, because I feel like I can get a lot of damage off really quickly with a high damage pistol and not so much with the lower damage pistols such as the MP443 Glock. But with that being said, just for future reference, guys, for those of you that want me to upload a Black Ops gameplay, I must just say, nein, ich hab keine Lust. And that's for two very pertinent reasons. Number one, I will never love any other video game as much as Battlefield. And number two, I don't want to be one of 100 other videos in a box that you call your subscriptions. That's just not something that I would enjoy. And for those of you that really want me to stick to Bad Company 2, ja, ich weiß, I know. I'm always going to stick to Battlefield, just so you guys know. And on to Battlefield, Bad Company 2, Vietnam, and so forth, just so I give you that reassurance. And so if you're ever going to ask me again if I'm going to upload a Black Ops gameplay, I'm only going to say one thing. Just, natürlich nicht. And with that being said, and that means no, basically. Just so you guys know, I won't translate it for you exactly, but that means no. So, ask me for a Black Ops gameplay, I'm going to say no, just so you guys are aware of that. But with that being said, I want to thank you very, very much for watching. I do appreciate your support very much. Und auf Wiedersehen, oder bis bald, oder tschüss. Goodbye.